Whoa. Lucifer in the flesh. Do you know how many journalists would kill? Wait, you probably do. First, I want to say thank you to agreeing to this interview, because I know you are a very, very busy person.
Yes. I usually like to fly under the radar. But I figured, since I'm already on the campaign trail, why not?
Okay.
I saw a video on YouTube by a YouTuber, Ivan the Evangelist, last year. It has been on YouTube for the past 6 years. It's titled Interview with Lucifer. It currently has almost 443,000 views, almost 13,000 likes, and almost 3,000 comments on YouTube. It also has over 5,000 likes on other social media platforms. Now, I respect what Ivan the Evangelist tried to do with the video, but I have reservations about the concept. Perhaps my being a realist and idealist when it comes to concepts prompts me to criticize this video, but I will do this with as much charity as possible. Now, I saw this video around the time when the movie Nefarious was released. I watched Nefarious this year, which is late, and it was almost the same concept used in Ivan the Evangelist video. Nefarious is based on the novel titled The Screwtape Letters, which I have not read, so I have nothing to say about the concept with which the novel was written. I enjoyed the movie Nefarious, but I still have slight reservations about the concept, or rather, the character through which the messages were conveyed. Now yes, some Catholic exorcists praise Nefarious, saying it is the closest movie that has been made that mirrors a true-life exorcism. Now while that is true, what would have made Nefarious 100% for me would have been if an exorcist had been in the interrogation room with the psychiatrist and asked the questions that brought the answers Nefarious was given. Now, I saw another video recently that used the same concept as Ivan the Evangelist's video. It is a video by World Video Bible School titled An Interview with Satan. Now, I'm sure you must be wondering why I have reservations about these videos rather than praising them. The answer is simple. The devil is a liar, and because of this fact, it is duplicitous to use any art form to dilute that fact. The uniform message from those videos is that they make the devil tell the truth about spiritual matters and cause the viewers to say, that is true, to what the character depicting the devil is saying. This is a big no-no for me. It does not matter how true the messages in these videos I have highlighted are, but for the truth to come from the character of a devil creates a subliminal message in the viewer's mind that dilutes the truth that the devil has no truth in him. I invite you to reflect on what Jesus says to the Jews in John chapter 8, verse 44. You are of your father, the devil, and your will is to do your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning and has nothing to do with the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks according to his own nature, for he is a liar and the father of lies. So if the devil has nothing to do with the truth, because there is no truth in him, and this is according to his nature, why are no Christians finding anything wrong with a couple of YouTube videos presenting the father of lies as presenting spiritual truths that are not able to come from him in the first place? This is one problem. The second problem is that the only way any human being can discuss with the devil is through sorcery or necromancy, which the church forbids. The two YouTube videos by Ivan the Evangelist and World Video Bible School unwittingly depict necromancy. I make the case for them that this was far from their intention, but what is seen is what is. Now, many Catholic exorcists have spoken strongly against trying to talk to spirits. They condemn reality shows that involve visiting haunted sites to find out if a spirit is lurking. They have described it as foolhardiness and dangerous and say it should not be done. They also advise those who are with them during an exorcism to pay no attention to the evil spirit, to say nothing to the spirit, and to not listen to them but remain focused in prayers. I implore you always to remember this when you come across videos like these. Joan Cruz, in her book about angels and devils, discourages having arguments with people who are well-versed in the occult, as they can even lead one who is well-versed in scriptures astray. Now, if Joan is iffy about discussing with a mere man who is into the occult, why should anyone not be iffy about talking to the devil? Now, in spite of the highlighted videos, is it still possible to receive some theological truths from the devil? The answer is yes, but only when God wills it. We see this in the New Testament when the demons in a possessed man confesses to who Jesus is. And immediately there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, "What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." But Jesus rebuked him, saying, "Be silent and come out of him." And crying out with a loud voice, he said, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I adjure you by God, do not torment me." For he had said to him, "Come out of the man, you unclean spirit." And Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" He replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." And he begged him eagerly not to send them out of the country. The Catholic exorcist, who through the power of God is able to conduct an exorcism, states plainly that during an exorcism, it is Jesus who casts the demons out. And it is through his power that they are able to demand the names of the demons. So they command them to come out, much like what went on in Mark chapter 5, verse 7 to 9. Some exorcists ask the demons why and how they possessed their victims, but only after asking God to compel the demons to do this. Now, all these scenarios I have mentioned do not take place in Ivan the Evangelist video, World Video Bible School's video, or Nefarious. I will not analyze the details of both YouTube videos, but I will speak on the last words of the Lucifer character in the Interview with Lucifer video, when he thanks two types of people. The first set are the people who actively do his will and reject Christianity. And secondly, the arguments and quarrels among Christians over theology. Ironically, I can see the devil doing the first part of his thank you statement, as he did in that video, but doing the second part, the one for the Christians, differently. Lucifer's first thank you. Now we hear this through politicians and the news media. Did you hear Kamala Harris's rally this past October? Where a man shouts in the crowd, "Jesus is Lord," and he shouts back to him, "You are the wrong rally," and everyone cheers.
We remember Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
How about the Democratic Convention this year, 2024, when the President of the United States, Joe Biden, had the crowd chanting, "Thank you, Joe."
Thank you.
What were they thanking him for? For pushing the LGBT agenda? For pushing for abortion and condemning the overturning of Roe v. Wade? You can hear Lucifer's voice echoed from the lips of everyone present at the DNC 2024. And during the day, abortions were being carried out outside.
Planned Parenthood mobile clinic. They have set one up just outside the United Center, and they won't just be handing out T-shirts and bumper stickers. They're actually going to be offering free abortion medication, inflatable IUDs, and vasectomies. News Nation's Kelsey Kernstein joining us live outside the United Center with more on this. The pro-life groups, Kelsey, they're pretty outraged by this show from Planned Parenthood outside.
Talk of Lucifer genuinely being pleased. Lucifer's second thank you. Now, the devil will not thank Christians for quarreling over doctrine. What he does is whisper in the ear perversions of the faith. He has no time to thank Christians for being autonomous because he needs to keep the confusion until that soul breathes its last. If that soul converts at the hour of death, he didn't win that soul over. Since 33 AD, the devil has been causing quarrels within the church. Heretics began to spring up and pervert the truth. It became necessary to differentiate the true church from these groups by identifying it by its characteristics. 1. Holy, Catholic, and Apostolic. There is only one truth, as told by Jesus, who makes the church holy. The church remains universal in evangelizing the gospel to the different tribes, races, and tongues. The church will carry on in apostolic succession until the end of the age. Now, when heretics break from it, they are no longer part of it, regardless of claiming to be, because there is only one truth. Things get complex when these heretics become establishments and begin to grow in numbers. They fight the church with these heresies they have adopted. You must never lose sight of the fact that the truth lies only in the church that has maintained the apostolic teaching. When you remember this, the devil will not be compelled to thank those who argue for the faith, because that is part of the battle, and it is not a waste of time to fight heresies that many Christians have embraced. You must fight lies with the truth and correct errors so they don't spread. Now, when I am talking about heresies, I am not talking just about Protestants. I'm referring to many Catholics as well, those who prefer their ideas to the unchanging teachings of the church. Remember, you should never have discourse with the devil, for he cannot tell the truth and is incapable of repentance.